This is the Canon 10-18 EF-S crop sensor wide angle lens. I haven't really shot a lot with this. It's a really cheap budget lens. So today I figured I'd go for a little POV walk around the town and just check out what it can do. It's a little windy. We'll see what we get. So the first shot of the day, I came across this walkway with a curved railing, which I thought was pretty cool. I lined that up so that the curve leant into the frame, and then I just had to wait for a subject to walk through. Then a long trek up the hill. Here I was shooting at 10mm, so out on a crop body this comes out at 10mm, but on a full frame camera this would be 16mm, which is a pretty wide field of view. Following this guy up the hill for a little while, the sun started to come through at the top, so I tried to get the building in one side of the frame and him on the other. The sun hit just in time, and even though this was a throwaway shot, I think it came out really cool. Right here I went to walk around and then I saw this other curved railing. I think it's really important when shooting wide, and something I picked up throughout this shoot was having foreground interest. When you're shooting so wide, you need something at the front of the frame, and railings, anything like that, always come in handy, especially like this one where it's curved and it can lead into the frame towards whatever your subject might be, in this case the guy in the orange. And here again, this railing curved around the other side of this walkway too, so I headed towards that way. I've shot this frame before, but I've never shot it at 10mm or 16mm. I've never shot it this wide, so I thought it was worth a shot while I was up here, just to try and get the framing a bit different and maybe accentuate the curve of that railing using the wide angle. Walking around the side here, I spotted this walkway in the Roman wall. Figured it would be really cool just to use that as a frame for the jumbo in the background. Stepping forward a little bit, I figured I'd get more of the jumbo in the frame this time and just use a bit of the wall as kind of foreground interest and the edge of the tunnel to frame the photo. Here is the corner of the Mercury building. It's nice and symmetrical, and there's this cool statue on top, so I figured a really wide shot of that to really accentuate the symmetry would go really well. Here you can see I had to get really low and really try and get as much of that building in as I possibly could. Quick shoot round to the high street because I figured it would be a little bit busier, there'd be more things to take photos of. Here I spotted the car. Now this is something I wanted to try for a while, using the distance and the distortion of a wide angle lens to really accentuate the features of something up close. Got to the town hall here and I've shot this before, but again, using this wide angle, I wanted to use this bit of chain and this post as some foreground interest whilst keeping the town hall in focus. This actually was going to be a throwaway shot, but I ended up quite liking it. Then I gave this another go with a slower shutter with those cars passing by to really try and catch some motion. With my shutter still set slow, I saw this bus come in and I figured I would try and get some motion blur into these photos. It was a bit of a throwaway shot, but it's always good to practice these things no matter what lens you're using. Then again with the town hall, I wanted to get really low with this wide angle and use the perspective to really show off the enormity of the tower. So here's another statue I'd taken loads of photos of. It was kind of interesting shooting it wide because you had to kind of find some foreground interest using the flowers and the chain here to kind of change the frame from what I would normally shoot. Then just a quick perspective shot to exaggerate the size of the statue. I wanted to get a shot of this at wide angle, but I really struggled to find the frame. To start with, I saw this fence on the left side, and I figured I'd use the curve of the fence to kind of lead towards the castle, but I just couldn't get the frame right. I tried a few times and no matter where I put the camera, it just didn't seem to work in the frame. I don't think it helped that at this far back, at 16mm or 10mm equivalent, the castle just looked too small. After trying a few frames, I figured just try and get a little bit closer, saw this flower bed in front of me and figured that those would be a really good, cool little foreground interest whilst making the castle a little bigger and still trying to get the frame right. What I spotted here as well is if I moved back just a step and popped the camera between the chain, I could use that bit of chain to kind of lead the eye into the image a bit more while still keeping the flowers in the foreground and the castle there. Looking around for photos, I realised that those clouds were really descending in on one side, and before you knew it, it was raining. Now most people put their camera away at this point, but I decided just to put my rain sleeve on. I was heading home anyway. If I could get some shots on the way, that'd be really cool, especially in the rain. Not a lot of people shoot in the rain, so sometimes it's really important just to carry on regardless. The rain sleeve did hinder me a little bit. You can't really see the screen as well, it's hard to get the frame in, and of course any water droplets on the lens really have a massive effect on the image. At this point I spotted that person on the bench just over there with the brolly up. Love a brolly shot, same as most people, I just think they're cool. Never done one at a wide angle, so I figured if I got behind them and really tried to frame them, centre, show off a bit of isolation in the image, it might turn out really cool. It was a bit of a throwaway shot because I had a water drop on my lens I didn't spot, but you know what? It was cool to get it anyway. Quick speed through the park on the walk home. Came across this gate right at the end of this fence here, but there was a massive puddle there, so I figured I'd just try and make the most of it. It was a complete blind fire as well. I didn't actually look at the screen, just kind of blind fired looking for a water droplet in that puddle. Before I knew it, the sun was coming out again. It was still drizzling a little bit, so I kept the rain sleeve on. Up ahead though, on the walk home, there is a waterfall. It's a really cool little shot, and then I had the idea from shooting those buses earlier that if I slowed my shutter down, I might be able to catch the movement. I didn't want to get out my tripod, but shooting at 10mm meant I could slow my shutter right down and use that to try and capture the motion in the water. I took a few attempts at this because without the tripod I wanted to make sure I was getting a shot without any blur in it, and the results actually turned out kind of alright. So that was pretty much it for this shoot. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you get a chance to shoot wide, definitely do it. It's worth it. It's so challenging, but some of the results can be really cool. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and if you want to watch some more POVs, there's some just here. See you again.